Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is where you're at. Welcome to Collider Dailies. I'm John Aldrich, and I'm here with the man himself. It's Steve. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm noticing that my lighting is all effed today, and it's good.
Very orange.
God forbid I were to get my shit together before we went live and look in the video and be like, oh, maybe I should fix the light.
I think that honestly, things could be a lot worse. You could have just told me that you did that on purpose, and I'd just be like, all right, yeah, sure.
No,
Steve felt like being very orange today.
No, this is just because I'm super sick, and no, just because I've been working until 2 seconds ago, and then didn't even think to check.
Yeah, that sometimes it just kind of happens. As you point out, you're super busy, like all of us are super busy. And so little things like that aren't super important. So they,
I mean, I need to be more vain, and I guess I'm just not. And anyway, let's move on because we have Thundercats to talk about.
So today we're talking about a whole slew of very exciting things. We're going to be talking about a SpiderVerse short that dropped earlier today and give our sort of thoughts on that. We're going to be talking about a new teaser trailer for the latest Yorgos Lanthimos film. I'm pretty sure that I pronounced that name correctly. I've been sitting there for like 5 minutes before showtime trying to make sure that I can get that name right. But first, we're going to be talking about Adam Wingard showing some interest and actually apparently actively working on a Thundercats adaptation. So Steve, you got a chance to talk to Wingard at it was a screening for Godzilla X Kong, correct?
No, it was virtually.
Virtually, that's what it was.
I was sitting right here talking to him, and
Okay.
I haven't run the interview yet. It's going to run this week.
Well, we ran the call. Yes, during that interview, Steve asked about a Thundercats project that he is apparently working on, that he's interested in, and Wingard had this to say: we're actively working on a draft right now, and it's cruising forward. It's super awesome. I'm really excited about it. And then Steve, of course, he went on to ask about the actual tone, and he basically said that he felt that adaptations should be as true to the source material as possible. Now, I'm not the world's biggest Thundercats fan. I watched a little bit when I was a kid, but I feel like it was a little bit before my time. Just slightly. I'm old, but
sure,
maybe not that old. But Steve, you told me that you are a Thundercats fan. How does this make you feel as someone who appreciates the source material?
Listen, this is one of those properties that I just don't believe is actually as much. I don't believe this actually happens until they're filming, because I've been thinking that this could be a cool thing for so long. But the questions are how do you make a movie when everyone looks the way they look? Because there's no humans. Are you going to somehow mix in humans to the Thundercats? What's the tone? How do you pull off the Eye of Thundera and him going thunder, thunder, Thundercats, ho? There's a lot of question marks here for me in terms of making this something palatable for modern audiences. But I think the world is cool, and I think it could be done. And Adam seems like the right guy because, there's so many ways this could go, but he's actively working on it right now. It could be his next movie. It's at Warner Brothers, and that's where the IP is located and who has the rights. And, look, they're trying to make more things that they own, more IP that is in their, the IP they own. So, and people are looking for original things now, and this is original. But like I said, I just don't believe this gets made until they're actually filming on day one.
This is one of those things that I feel like I've heard about a Thundercats adaptation a few times in the past. It seems like it's something that comes up every once in a while, like every few years, someone brings up the idea of it. I would be concerned about them pulling a Cats, I guess, and just having it be this weird, uncanny valley CGI character sort of thing.
No. Yeah, that can't happen. I think that if you do this, you got to lean into the Guardians of the Galaxy and do what Drax looked like and Nebula, and make it practical as best you can, because that's the only way you can really do this. Because you can't do CGI for these characters. You just can't.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, there is also the danger of them going a little bit too far in the direction, and suddenly it looks like someone's weird fursuit or something, and it's like suddenly creepy for other reasons. But I don't know. I think that this could be potentially pretty good. And as Geronimo in chat pointed out, Adam does have passion, although Geronimo says that he doesn't trust his tastes, which is fair, to each their own there. But you know, I think that if he is set to, if he sticks to his word that he feels like you need to stick as close to the source material as possible, I think that it could be, you know, it could at the very least be something that maybe the fans are happy with.
Listen, this is just one of those big question marks, because I really want to know how they're thinking about it in terms of how do you have a human element with this thing, or do you just ignore humans? And I also think, like, with a character like Mumra, who looks a certain way, you could add the I don't know what the word is for his like outfit, like the not the cloth, but the stuff that, like, when he goes Mumra the ever living, and like the stuff around his body moves, that's CGI. But the rest of him can be practical. And anyway, I'm really digging into the weeds here. But like, I've been thinking about this obviously too much.
Either way, it is something that could be worth getting excited for, but maybe just temper that excitement until we have something a little bit more concrete, because as Steve pointed out, this is one of those things that maybe you just don't believe it until cameras are actively rolling, or you know what, maybe go further than that. Don't get excited until you see a trailer, but it could still just be.
There's also something else, which is that, like, you know, Godzilla Kong is about to come out. He's talked about wanting to make one more, making it a trilogy. How does the movie do? Does he go right into that? Does Warner Brothers actually want to make a Thundercats movie? Or do they want to use one of their slots for something else? Like, I mean, I don't know. But the thing about Thundercats is, if you do it right, and you can appeal to kids and you can sell toys, there's the merchandise. And that factors in also to the bottom line of things, because, you know, toys make the studio more money. So there's a lot of things to think about.
There's a lot of pieces that go into that. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how things go with that. One other film that is coming probably far sooner than any Thundercats film ever will, we know that because it's coming out actually not too far out, is Yorgos Lanthimos' next film, which is Kind of Kindness, which we got a teaser trailer for today. This film is once again bringing him together with Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe, who he worked with on Poor Things, which that turned out pretty great for him. So, you know, why not keep that train a rolling? And yeah, we got a teaser trailer. There's not a lot to this trailer, but I feel like it did a pretty good job of touching upon the overall tone of this piece. Steve, how did you feel about the teaser trailer? What kind of vibe did you get from it? Did it make you at all excited to watch this, or is this something that maybe you were going to see anyways?
I mean, after I am a fan of his work, I would see this regardless. I love that this was basically made in secrecy. Like, no one really realized this was happening. I can't believe it comes out in June, which is just crazy. Which means that if they believe in it, it would not surprise me if this premieres at the Cannes Film Festival, which is in May. It makes sense for it to premiere there. I would wager it premieres there. It looks cool, but I mean, look, after Poor Things and his resume, I'm going to see it. And, you know, the question is, like, I just don't know what this movie is, because Poor Things was very stylized and a certain thing, you know what I mean, compared to this, which looks a little bit more, you know, I don't want to say mainstream, but like more, you know, it doesn't have the costumes and the hair and the way that, well, you get what I mean.
Yeah. It's a little bit more grounded, which is, when I was watching the trailer, honestly, that almost took me back for a second. I was like, wow, this looks kind of normal, which for Lanthimos is, he doesn't often do real grounded pieces. That he's a very eccentric filmmaker. But definitely, like, it feels, and maybe that, you know, is attributed to the fact that it was made so, like, kind of below the radar, that they were like, okay, we're not going to do anything too crazy because it is, you know, something that we're just kind of making almost on the side. But I don't know, it looks really interesting. Obviously I'm going to be there because I do appreciate his work. quite a bit. It's got a vibe.
Listen, I'm sure the screenplay and the characters are going to be cool.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, I'm just happy he made another movie that fast, and it's already here. It's amazing.
Honestly, that was easily the thing that like surprised me the most when I, saw that earlier today, was just, oh, it's releasing in June already. Like Poor Things was not that long ago. The fact that they were able to do that so fast is impressive, if nothing else. So yeah, I'm totally on board with this. I definitely think that it's going to have his typical kookiness. It's going to be, lots of long, wide shots with people standing at far distances apart from each other, staring awkwardly and speaking very woodenly. Like it's his style. It's the way that his films always tend to be. And it always just winds up being so gripping in a way that it probably shouldn't on paper, but yet they managed to execute it really, really well. I don't know. I'm excited for it. So we'll just have to keep on the lookout for that. As I said, June, I believe it's June 21st, I want to say is the actual date. Yep, June 21st.
That's why I'm saying it's going to premiere at Cannes, because it's a month before. Yeah,
that would make the most logical sense. So yeah, look out for news around that. We'll probably hear more about it in the next upcoming months, and we'll have more information about it as it comes out. For our final topic for today, we had a drop of a SpiderVerse short film this morning. It is called The Spider Within, a SpiderVerse Story. It was released as part of a fundraiser like initiative alongside the Kevin Love Fund, which is all about like mental health awareness and everything around that. And the short very much fits into that. It tells kind of a very, very small story of Miles seemingly dealing with the stress of being a Spider-Man. And it is just as beautifully animated as anything out of Spider-Verse. Steve, what did you think of this short?
I think people should remember that short films are really, really hard to pull off, because you have to introduce, like, the advantage that they have with this is everyone knows the characters, everyone knows the world. You do not have to explain any of that. So you can start the short just assuming the audience knows everything, which normally in a short, you need to establish characters and everything within a span of 5 to 10 minutes. And it's so hard because you have like 30 seconds to establish a character. So they have that advantage. But in 6 minutes, it does a fantastic job at reminding people that everyone has mental health challenges or goes through things that they need help with. And that, even if you're Spider-Man, reaching out to someone you love to talk about your situation and to help you go through what you're going, to help you, everyone goes through this. And I think that when I was growing up, and I'm sure it's the same with you, mental health was like, no one spoke about it. It was just, hidden. Like everyone, oh, you have a problem, keep it to yourself. There's, what I mean? Like it just wasn't talked about. And one of the only really good things of the last 10, 20 years, besides the, like, it sucks with all the divisiveness and everyone just angry at each other from different political things. But at least the one thing is a lot of people are talking about mental health and the importance of talking about it, asking for help when you need it. And I think this short does a really great job at showing what Miles is going through between his school, between his family, and being Spider-Man, and the toll it takes on him. And, he's only 15 or 16 and what he's going through. Anyway, I thought it was excellent for 6 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. To reiterate what you were saying there, when I grew up, it was, I also grew up in like rural Oregon and had like very much a blue collar uprising. I was raised by blue collar family. And so it was very much like, don't talk about your problems. Like talking about your emotions and stuff is weakness, maybe not to that degree, but it was seeing that now there is a lot of emphasis put on talking to people, reaching out, getting help when you need it is fantastic. And I love that this piece is so effective at getting that message across. I would say that this is something that would be brilliant for maybe young kids to see. But that being said, there's some kind of horrific imagery in this short that I was watching and I was like, this is making me feel squeamish. I don't know if I would necessarily want to show this to like my nieces, for example, just because it was kind of scary, honestly. But maybe that's kind of why it is as effective, is because it is showing that this is potentially something very, very, very scary and very troubling, and it is something that is worth taking the time to reach out and get help when you need it. But yeah, as I said, beautifully animated. It's a Spider-Verse thing, so it looks exactly like how you would look. Awesome performances by the two actors in it. They didn't, Shamik Moore had the most to do. Brian Tyree Henry was there, but didn't have a lot to do. But still, it was either way. Both did a great job. It was well put together. Fantastic short with a fantastic message. I definitely think that you should go check it out and, maybe support the Kevin Love Fund if you can, or, just watch it. The AdSense will help support it either way. But yeah.
Listen, I think it's great. I think it's great that also Sony put this, worked with them to make a short, because they could have easily said, this is too valuable. Like, you know what I mean? Like they could have easily just said no to this. And I think it's great because a lot of people are going to watch this because it's Miles Morales and it's Spider-Verse. And, even if it helps 5 people, it's so worth it.
True. And plus, just on top of that, it's fantastic to just get any Spider-Verse related content, because we do have a bit of a wait still until Beyond the Spider-Verse. Sadly, we were supposed to be getting the film right about now. But, things happen. So this will be nice just to tide people over until we do get that film. So yeah, it's fantastic. Definitely go check it out. Yeah. And with that, that's all we got for today. Pretty quick to the point episode for you there. Now, Steve, got anything coming down the pipeline? Anything that you want to plug?
We announced a screening yesterday for The Greatest Hits. If you want to see the new Superman, he won't be doing the Q&A, but if you want to see his work, it's on the website on Collider. Go to the top where it says screenings. There's information. It's in LA. We do have a Q&A. And I'm doing the WonderCon panel with the directors on directing this Saturday at WonderCon in Anaheim. I have Wes Ball, David Leitch, and Radio Silence for their films, and we're going to have exclusive footage. And maybe, some, if you've been to my director panel before, or can guess that maybe, some surprises. You'll see.
Yeah. Getting the opportunity to watch your panel from San Diego Comic-Con last year. I got to watch like some of the clips and stuff. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely go check that out. If you're at WonderCon, check out his panel. Go to collider.com for information about screenings and things of that nature. We do those all the time, so there's always information over there. If you can't make it to this one, maybe you can make it to a future one. You can also check out Steve's social media. That's also a great place to get information about the screenings, but I would say go to collider.com, because while you're there, you can also check out all of our fantastic articles and learn you up some entertainment news information, keep you informed and all that great stuff. Tomorrow, I believe, is Perry and Maggie on Dailies, so be sure to tune in for that. Same bat time, same bat place. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.